Hey there, everybody. It's Sharp Eagle here, and I am so excited to talk about what I would like to see in the Pokemon games for the Nintendo Switch. I am a huge Pokemon fan. I've been a fan since I was a little kid, and I'm still at it. And recently, back at E3 during the Nintendo Direct, they talked about that they have the Nintendo Switch game of Pokemon under works right now. Granted, I am not playing Pokemon. I am playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So if you guys are confused of why, I'm sorry. The only reason I'm playing this game is because of how big the game is and the scale and the graphics of the Nintendo Switch. And I would like to talk about what I would like to see in a Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch. Recently, Game Informer talked about how they went to Game Freak in Japan and they spoke with them and how they feel that maybe the next game is going to be based in Kanto. And that caught my eye, that caught my attention. I was like, man, that would actually be really cool. They ended up doing that. Take us back to the very first region that the game started in. So, what this video is really going to be about is what I would like to see if they remade or made a sequel to Kanto. And basically, I would like to see the game set about 10 years into the future from where Red and Blue last left off. Because to me, that'll show a good amount of change throughout time in the region. On top of that, we see at the very end of Pokemon Sun and Moon, spoiler alert, that Lily, she took off for the Kanto region. So I was like, there's kind of a link right there if they were to do it. And personally, I think that Kanto would be a surefire bet to get veterans and new kids or new Pokemon trainers on board. Think about it like this. This is the very first region of Pokemon. A kid that was born 10 years ago, they really didn't even get to experience Kanto. Granted, you could say they did if they played Red and Blue on 3DS. But even that being said, it's still kind of difficult for the fact that Sun and Moon was coming out that same year, and some kids won't think the game looks that great for them to download it, that it looks old. And I think this would be a good way to start off the region, or my bad, Generation 8, by starting off as a redo or a sequel like to the Pokemon games. And I think it would be awesome if we get to go see Kanto, how it looks from the perspective of Red and Blue when they went to the Battle Tree and they were able to speak with us, except for Red, his dot dot dot. What has changed in Kanto in 10 years, since that's what it looks like has passed between Red and Blue and Sun and Moon, since they don't appear 30. But basically, what if when you go to Kanto, when you boot up the game, Pallet Town's different. Pallet Town's a huge town now, and the whole entire layout of the region is just different. Like, the gyms are no longer the same. They're different types. I mean, Peter City is no longer the rock gym. It's actually a fairy gym or a dark gym. And you go to Cerulean, you're going to face Misty, and you're expecting Misty to be the same age as she was in Red and Blue. And oh my god, Misty's a 20-year-old, or she's maybe a little bit older than that. She has a daughter. I highly doubt it could be a daughter, but you get what I'm saying here, that there's some change in the world of Pokemon in the Kanto region, and it's incredible. And what if when you're traveling across the region, there's stuff that has been changed, like in Vermilion City, they changed the area because they were building something back then. They were building a new building, and I think that probably should be done in 10 years. And what if you go to Pokemon Tower, and at the moment, it's a radio station, if I can recall, from Gold and Silver, but the game's to scale. I call this like a GTA-esque third person, or you can even say like Zelda's third person too. It doesn't really. Basically, what I mean by this is that everything's to scale. Those mountains are legit mountains. I feel small compared to those mountains. I feel small compared to that skyscraper in Saffron City. I want it to be that the games make me feel like the world is huge. And I really think they could do that with these games. So, I would love for them to do that. As well, after you travel the Kanto region and you catch all the Pokemon that you could probably catch, and you make your team, and you go ahead, you beat the gyms, and you go to the Pokemon League, and there at the very end, the champion is Lily. She became a Pokemon champion in her time in Kanto. She is now the final boss of that game. But alas, before you can even face Lily, throughout your adventure, you are going to run into the re-emerged Team Rocket. Giovanni has reunited them, and they are ready to continue what they started back in Red and Blue. And then you beat them at a certain point, and there's a hint at something. That we're not done here. We're going to Johto. We're going to finish what we also have going on in our Johto operation. This you only followed half our plan. Whatever, something like that. And you're like, Johto? Oh my god, they must be hinting at another game then, if they're going to talk about Johto. So then, you beat Lily at the Pokemon League, and you wake up in your room like you always do. And you get a call from Professor Oak. But for me, what if Professor Oak is Baloo? He is the grandson of Professor Oak. So what if he became the professor of the region? He was the one that handed you your first Pokemon, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander. And now he says, I need you to go to the Johto region. I want you to gather more information on the Pokemon that appear in Johto. And he sends you to Professor Elm's laboratory. And Professor Elm says, you cannot use your Kanto Pokemon here in this region. For some reason they'll probably make up. And I'm going to offer you Totodile, Chikorita, or Cyndaquil to start a new journey and make a new team throughout this region. And at the same time, you're fighting Team Rocket again in Johto and trying to follow the plan that they had over there. And then, when you beat the post-game, when you beat that part of the post-game, you can pick whatever Pokemon you want on your team now from both regions, or you can transfer from Pokemon Bank. And you could face the Battle Frontier. What if the Battle Frontier is able to return? I think that would be awesome, because I was not a fan of the Battle Mason. I was not a fan of the Battle Battle Tree. I want to see the Battle Frontier make its return. And then, what if we have Kanto forms of Pokemon from other regions? A Kanto Skitty, a Kanto Lillipup, a Kanto Rockruff. What do we have Pokemon that adapted towards the Kanto region, and now they are different in a way. They have different typing, and they have a little bit of a different look compared to their originals. I loved what they did with the Alolan forms of Pokemon. And I think it will be amazing if they were to do that again with Kanto forms. And then you split the Pokedex to both regions, Johto and Kanto, and you make it that, well, here we are. You have now access to all 100 plus Pokemon that exist. You just have to trade between two games to make sure you can get them all. And I think that'd be awesome, because you're uniting both regions, and then you're also giving nods towards other regions of Pokemon. And I would think that would be so incredible for them to do. And I really hope they can do this. I mean, it's a possibility with the system they have to run these games on. They could definitely do it. Like, Breath of the Wild looks incredible. I really think they can do it, and I have high hopes for them to do it. So, another thing that I would like to do to add to the realism is make the Pokemon a little bit more realistic. I don't want to see a mouse Pikachu. I don't want to see a realistic looking bird. I want to see a cartoonish bird like we always seen, but with some detail. Like some feathers, some fur, some scales, whatever the Pokemon has that kind of shows it some more. I want it to maybe look somewhat like Breath of the Wild. Like this grass, you could tell these are all individual blades of grass, but yet they don't look like real grass. And then when it comes to fishing, I've been playing a lot of Persona, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, and I've been playing a lot of Nier. Other than Nier, the fishing is a mini game. Why not have it like a little fishing mini game? You throw in your super rod in the ocean, and then right there, you have to actually reel in the fish. And when you reel in the fish, you get to battle it, and then you can capture it. I would love to see them do that. It adds more to being immersed into the game, and I think that will really give the game a lot more longevity if they were to do that. I think that's all I got, guys. Anyway, please leave your comments down below and have a discussion. Give me your thoughts. Give me your ideas. Give me your criticisms of what I'm thinking. I want to hear what you guys think that maybe the next Pokemon game should be. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, guys.